need it. Even though you gave me a bowl of soup, of tomato. You give me a fruit salad, 2 spoons, that's all I need. You can share the tomato soup with somebody else who needs it. It doesn't mean it's wrong with it. It means I don't have the capability to accept it. I don't need the strength to accept it. Understand, when a system doesn't work and you set it on the magnetical, gravitational, nanomaterial, GAN system, even matter state, or the mixture of them, where the balance doesn't fit in, where something that part of the knowledge is missing. If you made the human, why the body is not accepting the energy, all of it from the universe that it needs to eat? Is the gravitational field of the earth the cause of the existence of man in this form? You have to understand, the energy sits on the top. You are here, and the earth gravitational magnetic field is there. You are part of the condition of the fields. And earth needs you to have your physicality to be able to operate in different ways. You are the antennas, part of the process. You become antennas by your existence. Find out how you can take more from the fields that you need less from physicality of this. Then you can go without killing, you can go without destroying another life. Understand the equation that your soul is part of the structure of killing. I explained this past couple of weeks because I realized there is a misunderstanding in the whole process. And I explained it, and I explained it again and again because it's important for you to understand. And that is very simple. There is egg and a sperm. The interaction of the two has led to creation of the enough energy that it led to the creation of what we call a mass. Which this mass in its center, the same as you see in the hollow center in your core, has led to the creation of transfer of energies between it that has led to concentration of the field in the center. Then this center decides the shape of how this plasma will look. But the additional information which it didn't have is that now this center itself, now that it's a plasma, has to find its balance with the other centers, where the position of these centers dictates the shape and the color of manifestation of this physicality. The egg and the sperm. The line of communication, the emotion of the man. The center is the soul of the man. It's the soul of the man which dictates the shape of the man in the physical life. And in fact, if you look at it, now the interaction of the souls dictates the outcome of the shape of the man and physical behavior of the man. This is one thing that you never understood, and now you have to understand. This is how life exists in the universe. It's your soul which dictates the shape and the color of your eye and your physicality as a common denominator in shape, but the color of it, the strength of it, is dictated how your soul has been preset by the other souls to be that they find their position in their confinement of the universe. Be it the man on earth, be it another species in the universe. You thought you're alone, but in fact your soul is dictator of your physicality and its manifestation of its conduct. And its conduct relates and conditions your soul to position itself in the others. You call it the day of judgment. It's not your physicality which dictates the position of the soul, it's your soul which dictates the position and the condition of your physicality. And the emotion is a Chinese whisper between the two. If you understood this, you understand the next level of understanding of the totality. You brought the matter, you made a GANs of it, you made it dynamic, you made the hollow center of it. It became the center of the field. That hollow center is in the brain of the man, as you call it, the soul of the man. And then each soul has to have its own interaction, what we call magnetic gravitational positioning in respect to the other souls, and what it gives to others has to take, and when they see the misconduct or change in the physicality of others, they have to position themselves that physicality changes. You say, I was unlucky, this happened to me, and you say, I was lucky, this happened to me. Had nothing to do with luck, because the souls have already positioned you to receive what you did good or what you did bad, or what to you was bad, but in fact you made a favor and you gave freely to the others without knowing, but the souls do not see that. They position themselves in what they receive from your bad conduct, which turned up to be the tail of unexpected for you, but it was reality of the conduct of the physicality. It will take you thousands of years to unravel the teaching of today, but those who do will achieve peace very rapidly. And this is our target. I don't teach how can I reach the man in the Amazon who does not even have a candlelight yet, after millions of years of human race on this planet. But I teach and I reach the soul of that man without a single wire, through the candle of the knowledge and the release of the soul of the man. Now you understand the difference. We haven't come to conquer. We have come to let there be no conquerors and they're all equal. We conquer only one thing, the love of man. And through it we control his emotion and his knowledge and his freedom. Any questions?
Good morning, Mr. Keshe. Good morning.
Good morning, Azar.
How are you? I have a
We can't hear you.
me now.
Very faint, or is it just me?
I don't know.
It's a little faint. It is a little faint, but maybe if you keep talking, it might automatically adjust a bit.
So I'm going to talk louder. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. When we share knowledge, from my experience, I mean, I always shared knowledge in the past, and even sharing knowledge in terms of humanity, or bringing awareness to people about who we are. So what happens sometimes when I share knowledge with someone, after that, you feel a good sensation, but sometimes with some other people, when you share the knowledge, suddenly I get this, I don't know how to explain, I get this vibration feedback in my body, that it seems somebody tells me I shouldn't have shared that knowledge with this person. I get so like twisted in my core, and I don't understand this. Can you explain that, please?
It means they are not ready to receive it. It's the soup ball.
I can't hear you, Mr. Cash.
I said it's like the soup ball. They are not ready to receive.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Rick, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Mr. Kesh. There's some other
Problem.
issue here with her.
Issues in the background.
Okay,
Maybe
so,
she's not ready to listen yet.
I was going to say that was the exact issue. Not listening
are you
to the
talking
first.
to me?
Can you hear me, Azar?
Yes, I can.
I said
Okay.
maybe that's why you couldn't hear, because you. I said it's the same story as this bowl of the soup. You give, but it's not for them. They refuse it. I always taught something when very first time when I knew my mission, and I explained that to a lot of people. I can give. It's only you who can refuse, because you are not ready to receive. But in the time when it comes, when you are ready, the soup is on the table to eat the soup. You cannot steal from a soul. You cannot steal from the knowledge by not giving. Your job is to give. It depends on them if they are ready to receive. This we see in the real life a lot of times. A lot of relationships can't have what we call a child. And you find out somewhere down the line, after they adopt 3 or 4 children, suddenly they have their own child. Because in reality, the soul is not ready. It's not confirmation of, even physically, I love you, I want to have your child, but in my soul, I'm not sure if you're going to be a good dad. So I prefer not to have. After you had 3 or 4 children adopted, surrogated, and I see you're so gorgeous with the other children, I say, oh, I can trust you now. And you get pregnant. It wasn't there that there was no egg and no sperm, and there was something wrong with it. It was the soul which could not accept the sharing of giving another life. And a lot of people don't understand this. We see a lot of families, a lot of couples can't have children nowadays. It's a huge problem. We blame it on water being contaminated, on radiation, on whatever you call it. But we don't look at something else. In the Western world, we see a lot of this. Ask, is the guy making love to make a child to the woman, with the woman she is, or with the woman he was before because of the openness of the misconduct of the past? This hasn't been understood because it's easy to blame the physicality. In the West, we were explaining one of our teachings, private teachings, having what I call partners is like changing trousers. And then you find out when you want to fit a trousers in, it doesn't fit because too many trousers tried before. This is the problem. When you don't, you feel they're not receiving, it's not because you did something wrong. It means they're not ready for it. Because to them, it's not, as we say, you have to introduce different kind of material and things into a cooking at the right time. Otherwise, it doesn't work. You can't put a potato before you fry the onions and the meat. You have to put in the sequence. When it's ready to receive it, you can put it in the pot. It's the same with the man. You give it's there, the potatoes on the table, it's time to be right, and then it makes the right taste with it. This is the problem. You give the knowledge and you feel there is something wrong, it means they are not ready to receive. And the energy you get back, it means, it's not I don't trust you, it's just I'm not at the moment needing it because I can't digest what I have myself at the moment. I always say that from the beginning of my teachings. When I received the message to teach, first thing I learned in the process from masters of the universe of teaching was not to force. You make it available. It's for them to accept, and you cannot force it. I put it in a very simple language and people don't understand. You cannot say, I pay you to trust me, I pay you to love me. I have to be able to test, to understand if I can trust myself, that I can trust you with what you give me. Then if I don't, I can't accept. You feel it because it's emotion you give, it's not a food. You feel it. It's just, why do you get upset if you offer me a soup physically and say, no thank you, I had lunch? But you get upset if you give me information or from your soul and I say, no thank you, because I already have enough in my plate. I cannot digest any more fields. It's the same process. Any other question?
Mr. Cash, I have another question. Recently,
You're asking too many questions, Azar. We got to start charging you through your soul.
Okay. Should I allow somebody else?
Carry on.
Okay.
Okay.
Recently, there was a news in Chinese news that they sent a second satellite to the space. And then when they were explaining, I thought maybe they're following your technology because they were talking about food and energy, all that. And I saw it's great, but apparently, what is it that they're doing in space? I just wondered.
At the moment, we have to teach the man how to get themselves the ethos of the space before they become man of the space. The people who join the Keshe Foundation motion are first taught the ethos of a space before they are given the tools of a space. Not just by teaching, we will see in their conduct. And according to their conduct, they'll be taught the next step. You'll be split in the teachings of according to the understanding of the soul of the technology than the physicality of the spaceship. It's very much the way I teach. Medical separate, agriculture separate, innovation center in different levels of understanding with different people innovating different things. The space technology now has to be done. When I went to Iran, I signed a contract with the Iranian government. I didn't go just walking in. It took them about 3 weeks to draw up this agreement. The cornerstone of this agreement, signed and registered by the Iranian government in the country structure, is that my technology would not be used for any way to harm no one, but it can be used to defend the nation or a culture or a being without harming. And the Iranian government has kept to that ethos. Even they've applied different kind of technologies to it, they add other bits to it. And part of the structure of our signing is that both sides deny anything which the other will say, that this way we keep our work going. Because, and the Iranians have kept to that ethos. I thank any governmental structure who's in power have a step, still kept to pages of documents, word by word, even written in Farsi and then translated to English because my Farsi wasn't that good enough. Changed a lot since I was taught Farsi years ago back in Iran. I even have the registration of the contract. The beauty with it is that we agreed with the government of President Ahmadinejad that the Keshe Foundation will never be promoted in Iran. That does not become centralized and then become all Iranian. And they have kept to their word. There are a lot of Iranians who do work and follow the Keshe Foundation work, but we agreed, and I was made to understand in a different way at the time, but we understand more of it now, that we will not establish any work of the Keshe Foundation except what is agreed with the government. In the future is the position of the Iranian government to change position in respect to opening. We have given our green light. We are agreeing if they want to open it. But it's a decision internally by the present government and Office of Ayatollah Khamenei that the technology will be kept as they wanted, even though it's practiced at different levels. We have achieved, yes.
Sorry. There was a question before whether there was some of your teachings that were translated into Persian, and I wasn't sure if there was. I don't think there's a.
I have taught enough in Iran. Yes, there are some work has been translated. Some of the books has been translated into Farsi, but I have a written agreement with the Iranian government that we work this way. I understood why President Ahmadinejad was pushing for it at that time, and now we understand more of it, but it's the freedom. They can use it for peaceful application, and they've done so. And it's a very detailed written agreement that I respect the Iranian authorities for keeping to the ethos. One of my condition was that we never promote my work in Iran till the time they see they want to open it.
What about for say study groups or somebody that might like to do an Iranian or Persian language workshop?
They are doing it. They already do a lot of work. A lot of work is done in Iran. A lot of Iranians outside Iran transfer knowledge.
Outside of Iran. I thought there are a number of people that have asked if there's a Persian language translations and so on of the.
There is a group were permitted in Austria, if I'm correct, or Germany last year. They asked if they're allowed to translate the books into Farsi, and the response was they don't see any problem in translating. So we announced that last year. And the German is in Austria or somewhere.
Can I drop to Mr. Kesh? That was Afshin, I think, from Sweden. Remember, we wanted to translate that book.
Yeah, they checked with the Iranians, so they lifted the translation restrictions on the work. But there are a lot of Iranians who outside Iran who work and they transfer knowledge to Iran. We have to respect with what we agreed with the Iranians. As I said, it's pages and pages. I sat 3 weeks in the hotel till the agreement was signed. And it's very detailed agreement between me personally and the Iranian government. One day Iran will release it. It's been registered in the agreement structure of the government. There are a lot of translations, and part of this agreement is that I do not promote my work in Iran unless the government agrees to do it themselves and they open the technology. But a lot of Iranians through proxy servers have access, they do work. The Iranian Keshe Foundation supporters, they make the magrabs and everything else, we are informed of their work. And it's not something which is hidden, it's something at that time, 8 years ago, I agreed with. It was the wishes of President Ahmadinejad and the office of the president with the Office of Ayatollah Khamenei. This is what they wanted to allow. The same as the nuclear technology. You have to understand, it's not something strange. Iranian nuclear technology was developed heavily without anybody knowing for years, and then it came out. We did the same with the Iranian spaceship program. And we've seen the work of it. It's the way we work, it's the way we agreed, and as being a nuclear physicist and Iranian senior advisor, I took that position, I understood. We never let anybody know how we developed so rapidly the nuclear technology of Iran, and so it was agreed to be the same until the power was shown. And so it's not secrecy, it's respecting what we agreed with. Until the day the present regime, Ayatollah Rouhani, or on the passing of Ayatollah Khamenei, then the new government decides to open up, it's their decision. We do not go enforcing opening it because we have signed agreements and we have to respect as much as they have respected up to now. It's not a hidden technology, it's the same as our nuclear. I'm a nuclear physicist. I understood, I supported fully the Iranian nuclear technology all the way through all the negotiations. I stand firm with my government. I still carry Iranian passport after 42 years of living abroad. I'm proud to be from part of the earth which has the ethos of Zardosht.
Hello, Mr. Kesh.
Yep.
Oh,
Mr.
sorry.
Mr. Kesh, if I understood, when we talk about a space, if I want to give an analogy, if we have two men, one who understands the soul and he understands on non-physicality and plasma, and you have another man who just like understands physicality and has to go to a space with an armor suit and food and everything, and you go to a garden, and the garden, imagine, is a space, and it has a door, and they both man, you open the door for them.
Let me go to you in one way direct. The man who wears the armor and the suit has a stock with the propulsion, and
Yes.
is
Yes.
trapped.
So
The
what I
man
was
who
going to say,
understands the others is different.
okay, what I was going to say, when you open the door, the man with the armor and suit, when you look at the garden, he says, "Oh, this is not a garden; it's a dry land." So I have to go back to my car, get my food, get my fountain, get my flowers, sit in a dry land and eat. But the other man look at the garden and says, "My God, this is beautiful. It has everything I need." And walks in there, and everything is available to him. Now, what Chinese people are doing is that armor suit, that they go to space and they don't see anything.
It's not that they have. We have to respect the Chinese scientists. This is very much. We have to respect every culture and the way they do. There is part of the progress of understanding. The Chinese leadership or the American leadership or the Russian leadership, they all have the facility, they all have contact with what you call extraterrestrial, but what we call people of the universe. At that level, they see, but they cannot gain the knowledge because they have not committed themselves to peace. The minute any of the world leaders commits their nation, commits their culture into peace, you will see it'll become the land of knowledge. And none of the world leaders have understood this yet. It's no use us teaching when the commitment of the peace is not there. And they don't see it. All the problems, we have an agreement, multi-billion-dollar agreement, which can be signed anytime in respect to environmental cleanup up in China. Is blocked at the leadership by the fear that this will create a lot of unemployment. But they don't see it creates a lot of freedom, people to serve the nation. We have multiple agreements sitting on the table waiting for the green light from President Xi. The people around the leadership have frightened the leadership that's going to be so much unemployment, blah, blah. But they don't see that so much comes in that you bring a content nation, the people will receive everything they want. They will adore their leadership. They worship their leadership for the freedom they give them. And this is what puzzles me with Chinese leadership. This is why we stopped negotiation. Because they don't see, if they want to be bringing prosperity to the nation, prosperity doesn't come out of the pocket. You're always chasing the next food, they're always chasing the next clean air. You have all the problem in Beijing. If you allow people to participate and allow the government to open up what is there on the table, they have everything they need. They don't need to walk with a mask. They don't need to have so much chemicals added to the water. And then they still have more problem because now they're employing people just to divert different things, just to create jobs. The job comes out of the pleasure of satisfaction of serving. And this is what the world leaders have not understood. And this is why we start teaching masses. We support the Keshe Foundation China heavily. And I said, the first, Arman and I, as heads of the Keshe Foundation, we discussed this very recently. The minute we delivered a what do you call it, completed generator, and now it's gone to the wireless, we had no choice. The leading to making a solid state generator has led us into wireless energy transfer. It's inevitable. So what we have discussed with Arman, we will in the next few days give a copy to Arman in Los Angeles. We give a copy to Arman in Armenia, Keshe Foundation Armenia. We give a unit to design the blueprint to Benjamin in Africa. A blueprint will go to Canada. A blueprint will go to Arizona. A blueprint will go to India and Asia. And 2 of the Keshe Foundations in China laboratories will receive the blueprint. And we'll show the whole 10 what do you call generators simultaneously worldwide. We have made a target 20th October. The House of Pope in the Vatican will be the trigger from Ghana first. If we can achieve it, hopefully we will be able there. We will show it across the world in 10, 20 nations simultaneously. We'll go live and all of you will see it. Why? Because the knowledge, the fear comes amongst the leadership. The knowledge of peaceful action comes from the people. People will force the governments to become peaceful governments. We try the governments. The bribery and what I call the pleasure of physicality of a woman with most of the leaders is their pitfall. You don't want to know what I know about them and how I lived amongst them without them knowing how we observe their behavior. This is the problem. The Chinese have never realized, this is one of my biggest problems with President Xi at the moment. Move to space technology, move understanding the technology is an asset to your nation. You will find that space will open for the whole of the nation, whole of the Chinese speaking language will across the world. They will shine like a diamond. Now the Africans are doing it. Why? Why? To create fear. The space technology of China, they are speaking because they have to, but they're going the path of the propulsion 40, 50 years ago. There is a lot of doubt if man has ever been to the moon. What do you call it? This belt and that belt has not been passed. It's all lies. Very easy. You can now create a lift, go up and have a look on the moon. You see Mr. Armstrong's footstep on the moon. It's very easy. He's there. We see it. I was talking to somebody very strange. I give you a clue, nobody knows. But it opens another door of creating doubts. But in fact, it brings a lot of joy. I sit you for 7 days in a little capsule in a chair, and I'll send you up thousands of millions of kilometers away. Very strange. You walk out, you can walk like a perfect man. Test what did the astronauts do in the capsule for 7 days at home, and see if you can stand up and walk as nothing and you've been a free man. There is a question mark. There is a huge question mark in the operation of the reality, but it's not for us. We encourage them. They achieved, they've landed on the moon. Soon, in the coming weeks and months, us as humans will show the footprints. If there is one. If it's your doubt. And then even if you show it, they say, no, you put it there just to show they are. We listen to both sides, but the space technology now has no doubts. They talk about the life behind the moon. They talk about there is another structure on the Mars. Of course they are. What do you think? You see the systems here and they don't exist. They exist across the universe. There is a life on the moon if you look at it, but you're so blind you don't see it. You don't see the life you eat from the atmosphere above you, which falls on you and you're the bottom eater. How do you want to see the life on the moon, which is much more lighter in gravitational field? Are they more intelligent? Probably. Because they don't kill, so they receive knowledge of the universe much easier. There's a lot of wisdom we have to understand. The Chinese space program is correct. The American space program is correct. Is correct because we have to add to our knowledge. You don't suddenly become astronaut tomorrow. You don't become Mojans the day after. We have to gather knowledge. We have to test different environments. It's the Chinese now are in that process. They do. You have to understand what is the problem. When a world leader commits himself, its nation, to something in a given time and he doesn't get it, or he knows he can't get it, he has to fake it. Otherwise, he's not there. And don't forget, by the end of this decade, America will land on the moon. By hook or crook, had to land. It's the same with the Chinese. Chinese have not committed. Don't forget the Indians are in the space technology too. The Iranians are. We are aware of the tests and everything else. Any development on the Iranian rocket space, it became, oh, this is becoming a rocket to hit America. What about all the rockets which is launched by the Israelis into space to put satellites in? They are free, but when the Iranian comes, it's a world threat. This is carrying the media. Terrorism by media. How come the Chinese can do, but the Iranians, when they do it, it becomes a missile attack against the state, the 52nd state of United States called Israel. We have to understand mass media control through Jewish lobby is very, very strong. We don't know all the truth because they don't let us know all the truth. But their grip will become less and less. Because the mass media in a different way has become internet, they have no control over. The Chinese are in a space, we congratulate them. They have to do it. They want to produce the water to achieve different ways. Is their right, we support them. We are there, still standing next to the Chinese government. Is the path of work which has to change in respect to the foundation. Do not imprison Keshe Foundation supporters or people who are in line with us with different accusations of practicing this and that. The couple of scientists who've been in communication with us in the past couple of weeks, we've been told they're in prison. We asked for clarification. We are still waiting. We saw the magic parallel in past 7 days in Los Angeles airport. Criminality through the police force or commercialization. Chinese have to go to space, the same as the Iranians have to go to space. But they need people strong enough, like us, to be able to stand the forces of outside through technology. One of the reasons Iran stood the 5+1, we did not give a thing. We went according to our ethos. We did not give a single cent, single gram of our material the way it was requested by the Israelis through 5+1. We stood, we have more powerful technology like the plasma technology that make the thing obsolete. What you are negotiating with, I explained this before. Chinese have to go through this process to learn and then stand through the strength of their technology. And we support them. We will not abandon, we will not let down the Chinese community or Chinese leadership with the technology from the Keshe Foundation. It's them to understand it. And threatening us by their proxies or proxy of the, what you call their military, they see their position in danger, it doesn't help. It was the biggest mistake by the Chinese military to threaten Keshe Foundation supporters. into imprisonment. We can release. You know me, I always release what I say. It was the biggest mistake Chinese military made against Keshe Foundation supporters in China to put them in prison. By the approval of the leadership or not, they should have had more control over their army or people who pretend to be part of the military structure. We do not stand threats. We said we dismantled the communication, we did. Any other question?
Mr. Keshe?
No, no more question, Azar. Give other people a chance.
Okay, thank you.
Please, thank you. Any other question?
There's certainly other questions, Mr. Keshe. I was
Do
wondering,
we have the guys from London and they tested the Maghreb system online? They usually listen.
if they're a viewer, they could put their hand up and I could promote them to a panelist. I'm not sure. Do we have any names, or is it?
They come on the difference, 5 of them apparently there.
There's a couple of people that are viewers I can promote to panelists for their questions.
Okay, go ahead, please. The people from Maghreb, UK, if you guys are on the line, come on, because you can add to our knowledge.
We did have a question.
Your video.
Sorry. We did have a question from Cleve in the live stream, who it's kind of a bit of a trick question in a way.
So you answer it. When it's tricky, it's your job.
Well, no, it's a clever.
Listen, you run a beautiful presentation every Wednesday, so it's your job. You can answer some.
Well, the idea here is Cleve's interested in getting an advantage on these wireless receivers, and he wants to get going on it and wants to know what to order. So he's asking what gauge wire for the wireless receivers. That's why I say it's a bit of a trick question. If they're even wire,
if it's wireless, doesn't need a wire. Why do you need the gauge?
That's a point. But does it have coils?
I think we answered it very cleverly between two of us.
Yeah, I think he's looking for some clues on what the wireless receivers are actually.
Yeah, if it's wireless, doesn't have a wire, why does it need a gauge? Maybe that enlightens you. Okay, the next question.
Okay, so we've got a couple of people. Don Graham, you've had your hand up. Do you want to ask a question?
Can I ask a question from Stanley in the background? Stanley, do you see the same problem as the other side as yesterday? Hello, Stan? Oh, he's busy with something else.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I don't want to just, you can try to unmute him if you like.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I guess not. Don, did you have a question there, Don Graham? I'm not getting, I'll try to unmute you. Hello, Don. It's not working. I think he's having trouble with his, oh, it's unmuted. Hello? Not hearing your audio, Don. Okay, there's Chad. I see the things going up and down, but we're not hearing audio from you.
Hello.
Yeah, something coming up.
Hello.
Okay, Chad, go ahead.
Mr. Keshe, I wanted to thank you so much for your technology. I'm new to to this Kesh technology, this plasma technology, and I've been using Himalayan Gans water on the arthritis in my legs, and it's working out just beautifully. And I wanted to thank you for that.
You're welcome. It's the knowledge which comes from across the Keshe Foundation.
It's absolutely amazing. It relieves pain and it loosens my knees.
Have you become mobile?
It wasn't a severe case. I was still walking, but I was becoming hobbled, if you know what I mean, kind of hobbled up, taking little steps, and it allowed me to take full steps again.
What is your condition? How deep is that?
Well, it's a stiffness and an achiness.
Just in one joint or many joints?
In my knees.
Both of them?
Yes. More so in the right leg than the left leg.
Do you have any problem with the hip? Has it moved up, or is it just localized in those two?
Just localized in the knees.
In the knees.
A little bit in the ankle.
One of the ways you can speed up the process is when you get this condition is you attract too much calcium towards the joint. What it means is, in a way, that the skin or the length of the lower leg and your femur is not creating the right vibration for absorption of the calcium to go through the bone structure. The field of the calcium is absorbed from the lymph, but the penetration, it becomes too big to go through the lymph, but it's still in the calcium state, and in a way it splits up towards the joint. One of the things you can do now that you are relieved of the pain, when you're sitting down or when you're walking, try to walk on your heel to toe. It's very important.
Yeah.
You know, when you're standing up, I've taught this a couple of years ago, it's on the record somewhere. Try to tap your heel. Try to put your heel down first heavily and go to your tip. Next step, the other heel the same. You have to change the vibration of the internal structure of the bone that takes the calcium into the bone and becomes part of your bone marrow. The calcium which you get with the arthritis and these kind of things is the calcium which is transferred from the bone, from literally the lymph to the bone, but is not in the strength or the size to be able to penetrate through the bone to become part of your bone marrow. So it literally slips up and it gathers in the joint area, and then it creates what we call arthritis. If you have reduced your pain, you haven't sorted out the problem fully. You have to sort the problem now. You have more freedom to walk. You can help yourself and retune the bones. So when you walk, try to put your heel, like, you know, you tap dance with the tip of your toes, the tap dancing. You do the same tap dancing with the heel. This sends a vibration into the bone which readjusts the frequency of the vibration of the bone structure to not to produce bigger size lymph, what you call plasmas, to the size which it needs. And then once you go through the process, whatever is calcium or the effects of the calcium fields on your joints will be dissolved in the body gradually. You get rid of it. Now you don't produce extra ones to become the creator of the future problems. So it is important, when you get arthritis like this, is the retuning the bone structure which is needed. Because in your, I draw it on the picture, I've done this before, you understand it easier maybe, is Your bone structure is like a what I call a guitar string, and the vibration which these produce creates a plasmatic gravitational field which attracts the lymph into the bone. If one of these is out of tune, it's like a piano. It creates a different size. When it comes to the bone, it cannot go, so it slips up to the centers, which at the end is your joint, your knee. So in relieving the pain, you haven't solved the problem because these strings are still out of tune. So by literally you tune, you know, your piano tuner comes and plays the string till it gets it, it tunes it. The vibration from the bone it creates to adjust these. The older we get, the more these things become a bit clogged up with others. In a way, when you tap, you shrug up any cloggedness and they open, they start working and they absorb the right, what do you call it, plasma to become the calcium into the bone marrow. So now you got rid of the pain, you can walk, but you haven't solved the problem. Try to tap by your heels. When you walk, try to walk from heel to toe and try to make it solid, not just walking soft. You'll find out with this process, you create a much stronger amino acid for the, what do you call, your immune system. Your health gets better because now you go back to like when you were 20, 30 years old.
Yes.
You have to follow the process fully, and then you guarantee a total reduction, and you'll find out you don't catch a lot of cold, you don't catch a lot of diseases like when you were young. It's just that you now retune it. The older we get, the less walk we do, and the less walk we do, it changes these, what I call tunes, string of the bone, and then one leads to another. And that's why the athletes stay healthy, because they run. That's why one of the best examples of these are boxers. They always jump and they go back on their heels. They always fall back on the heels to defend themselves. That falling back creates a lot of clearance in the muscle. It's not the way they jump on their toes when they practice. This moving backwards, the heels, gives you that strength. You see this with the high jumpers. If you look at the high jumpers, or if you look at the long jumpers, they always go back in their heel. And they always, if you and I jump that distance, we break our bones most probably. But in going back and they go forth, they go back and forth, they strengthen these, what I call the strings in the bone, and it creates much more stronger solid bone and a better structure for, I mean, what do you call it, the immune system.
Oh, interesting.
It's all connected to each other, and then you find out when you look at all the D cells and you look at all the B cells, you look at all the T cells in the body, which is the main structure of the amino acid of the body of the man. They all have a common denominator, calcium, as the cornerstone of their structure. When you don't absorb the right calcium to become part of your bone marrow structure, you lose some of the strength of it, and because you're lower in the strength of the immune system, you become vulnerable to cold, you become vulnerable to other diseases. It's important for people past age of 45, 50 to be able, even if you can't do anything, you're sitting at a desk, you can strengthen the lower, but when walking heel to toe, you strengthen, you literally clean up any dirt between the strings, if you call it, if you say it that way.
So it's better. Sorry. So it's better to do more walking even.
Yes, but the walking, not to walk between the, when you put your heel down, try to put, especially at the beginning, you tap your heel and you go forward to the toe. It's important you walk back to the front, and with the tapping, it's just literally, you know, when you want to clean the carpet, you shake it, the dust comes out. You do the same thing between the strings in your bone. When you tap, you create a vibration in the bone that literally gets rid of anything which is clogged up, and that has tuned the, for example, a C to a D. Now you want to have a C only because, well, how your body needs it most. Now you get rid of the D tune, you change the tune, and you only do it with walking.
Heel
If
to toe.
doctors, pardon?
Heel to toe.
Heel to toe, but when you put your heel down, you tap you have to put it down with a force. You just create a shake, and you'll find out you become very healthy, but don't do it so hard that you can damage the knee and the ankle. You understand?
I follow you.
Just enough that when you're sitting down doing nothing, instead of tapping your toe like a musician, try to tap your heel. Find out you help your own health. It's part of the structure you need to do. I'm in near my 60s, and I tend not to walk much, but whenever I'm aware of, unknowingly, I deliberately walk from the hill, because it allows you to receive you clean up the system, more or less. When you're young, you do a lot of it, but you increase your immune system, and that immune system being strengthened reduces possibility of cancer and other things in the body. Is one reason. Walking in man's life is the cornerstone of his health, because most of your bone marrow creates most of your immune system in your femur.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you recover fully.
Thank you.
Any other question?
That's a funny coincidence that I ended up injuring my right knee 4 days ago, actually, quite severely. So that.
What did you do? Did you get kicked or did you kick?
No, I sort of fell off the deck, but part of me got caught on the way down, and it twisted my knee. All laid up. I'm able to walk on it, and it's not painful unless I move it in the wrong direction.
Yeah, just put some CO2 on it, and you'll find out there'll be no pain.
Yeah, that's okay, but I need to, in a way, feel the pain so I know that what's going on with it and so on too. It's not irritating, so if it is a problem, I know exactly how to deal with it, which is, I also have been taking the CO2 GANS water and baths in CO2 GANS water as well, so, yep. And it's like it, in a way, and right now it's like it hardly happened. In a way, I'm thankful. I could have fallen on my head, and well, maybe that'd be better. Maybe I'd be better off that way. But I mean, I was headed that way literally, but my leg caught me from falling on my head. So I'm actually quite thankful.
Oh, the soul said, I still need the head and get the knee at the moment.
Somehow it said it's time to slow down a little bit. We've got. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, this is Flint.
Flint from United States.
Yes, from the United States. Yes.
Thank you very much for all your hard work, Flint.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. In extension to that question on the knee, what would be advisable if there's like no cartilage in the knee there, so it's like bone on bone, so it's really painful to walk or can't even walk? What would be a good remedy to? You can
rebuild the cartilage. It's very easy. Building cartilage with the plasma technology is as easy as drinking water. I've done many times. But the only thing is you produce nano micro layers at a time. When you do it, you have to take the pressure off it. Just for about 2, 3, 4 weeks, try not to walk to rub what you produced. One of the best ways to do it is to get what is known as knee transfer braces, where you take the pressure off your knee, you allow the cartilage and everything else to be reproduced. It's a simple thing. You have your femur, you have your lower bone. It's a very simple plastic system with, now they use solid plastic here and here, and it has a strap there. You strap there. What happens, there's a joint here on the solid plastic. You transfer the weight of the body through the joints, and you give the bone a freedom, a joint a freedom to, you see it a lot of sports people wear, but you need it. Then what you need to do, you produce GANs of CO2, GANs of copper oxide. You need to understand the ratio of, you need another material which is a cartridge is made of, which is partially calcium based. You need to have a calcium oxide in there. You need zinc oxide because cartilage carries a lot of emotion, and you need a fair amount of CH3. And you just put it around the knee and you take the pressure off it. You take this system from the time you walk off the bed till you go back into bed. Make sure there is no weight on it. You allow the cartilage not only to be made, you make cartilage every day. The body, even when you don't have a cartilage, it still makes it, but because it's got so thin, everything is made, is dropped off. You speed up the process, but you give it a chance to build up. And then after 2 or 3 months, there is enough of it, not only made, it's not soft anymore, it's hard enough. 6 months is preferable. You should have no problem with the knee because you enhance the production and the body will carry on. All you need to do is to take the pressure off it and then create an environment to encourage the much more rapid production of the material. If you have ligament or damage with the knee, you need to add magnesium and into that mixture, because tendon are different than cartilage. They have a magnesium mixture in them, and you need a fair amount of what you call magnesium in the mixture, because that's why the cartilage is very shiny color, is not red, because it has certain amount of copper in it, but magnesium is part of its structure and creates that ligament.
Would having a bath with Epsom salts, which is magnesium sulfate, would that help?
You
Or
need
with
a long term, it's going to be there constantly. Because when you got to realize, I learned this from a chiropractor, a very old chiropractor, he's dead now. He explained to me and Caroline the first time we met him, well, 20 odd years ago. He said the body is like a house. When you put the wrong foundation, everything else built on top goes wrong. You have to fix your toes all the time, your ankle, your knees, your hip, and then the rest look after themselves. When you have a problem, you have to go through all the process of full recovery, not just a few minutes. You have to allow the base to become solid, and the whole life of the man depends actually on your toes, and then your ankle, and then your knees. When you have a problem with the knee and you try to sort a little bit of it, the whole body has to move, the knee has to adjust, the hip has to adjust for that little change, and then the rest of the body has to adjust for the changes in that knee, and then the whole structure moves, and then you get more problem in the future. When you have a problem in the knee or ankle, make sure it goes through the full process, not just temporarily, just to get rid of the pain. You have to develop and allow what is damaged to be repaired fully. This is what most of the people have no comprehension of. I was teaching this to one of our Keshe Foundation team very recently. A lot of you women, I repeat this again every now and then that you understand. A lot of you women or men, especially women, wear these open sandals and you knock your little toe or your big toe or one of your toes. In being fancy looking, you get a clip of it. If you get that and you get a full pain of it, you have in 5 years to 10 years time start the process of the back pain and the disc problem. I explain this, I explain it every now and then because you have to understand that we have new people with us and they can protect themselves very easily. I have this on here. Okay. You have your toe, your foot is like this. I'm not a very good drawer. Big toe, the other toes, which is there. In the center of your body is made of two balance systems. You have a balance for your emotional part and you have a balance for your physical part. Your emotional part balance sits in your ears. Your physical part balance sits at the bottom of your foot. Is a nerve which goes right across it. And the shape of your foot, when you look at the foot of a woman, you know all the story you need to know about her. Caroline tells me you never look at people's foot, you know everything. Because the shape of the toe, the direction of the toe, the thickness, the sharpness, everything tells you about the soul of the man. Because it's the toe which dictates the foot. That's how the rest will be shaped. So what you have a shape, you have here, have damaged. When you clip this toe, you move the physical balance. This vein is a vein, it's literally like a neural vein, gets moved by a micro because of this movement. Now, when this move, without you knowing, this has to move, this has to move, this has to move. Now, this is your foot. And this is your knee, your ankle, your rest of the body, and it goes up. Now, this nerve here has moved a micron. The structure has moved. All this have to move to adjust this little movement. Now, the ankle has to move too because the muscles have taken a slightly different position. You find out maybe you get a twist ankle. When you get a twist ankle, because of this toe, or this toe with the fancy shoes, you clipped your shoe with the leg of the chair. Now this has moved. All the muscles here have to move. So the knee moves to make adjustment for this movement. Now the hip has to be adjusted. Then it goes the spinal cord. Then you get a pain in your neck. Osteopaths and chiropractors never fix this. Fixing these means no pain here, no pain here. You don't need to go osteopath, you don't need to go to chiropractor. So what you have to do, you have to fix this. Fixing this is very easy. You need somebody who loves you and it's got two strong hands. You lie flat with your toes hanging up. This is your head. You hold, you start from the smallest toe. This is your 2 feet there. That's your foot and the 2 feet there. You start from the small toe. You hold the toe, if this is the toe in a way. You hold the back of the toe with 2 of your fingers, the index finger and the second finger. And you put your thumb on the front, facing the face. Your thumb is on this side, your 2 fingers on this side on each toe. And you pull the toe directly vertically up towards you. And you hear a click. You go to the next one, you go to the next one, you go to the next one, you go there. And then you come back to the small toe and you do the same inside. When you've done that, what you do, you bring back this vein in line. But don't forget, it's got used to moving back again. So you have to repeat this process 2-3 times the first 2-3 days, and then once every day for a week or so, and then it goes back in its position. But now that you pull the toe up, you sorted out the toe, you sorted out this, you have come up to here. You fix this part. Now you have to fix this part. This part has already moved. So what you do, you put your hand, one hand on the back of here, and one hand holding the foot, the same as you are. One hand here, and one hand holding here. You rock the knee a few times, rock it, that you loosen the muscle, and then hold firm and pull the whole thing towards you with a huge, with a very full, powerful force, like you're trying to get the leg off the body. And then what you see, everything lines up. Lie in the bed for 5 minutes or so. Don't just do it and get up. Lie there, let the adjustment fit itself. Do it 2 or 3 times. Your sciatic pain goes, your back pain goes, your hip pain goes, your spinal pain goes. And if you repeat that once a year, once a month, afterwards, you continuously readjust yourself. Chiropractors, osteopath, never touch you. I teach them, but they never use it, because once they fix this, there is no more pain. You don't go back, there are no customers. So very simple, understanding the physiology of the body. And then when you walk, you always have this connected to this in a very funny way. The emotion through the soul, through the leg balance, works in a very effective way. The way you have the lung for your emotional side, which is the air side of the, what they call the atmosphere, the physical side has to adjust, and the balance between the two comes in these two systems. The emotion has chosen the, what we call the middle ears, to balance the what you call the emotional side. That's why it's not balanced, you go dizzy. If you're not balanced physically, you twist your ankle, you get the pain. So when the two are in balance, you are okay. If you get a dizziness and you lose balance, you understand that there are 4 points that are connected to each other. So when you have a cartilage problem with the knee, you have to understand somewhere in the past you have damaged the toe. You have to fix this while you're taking the pain off and you're wearing the braces. You have to understand everything has a process of action and reaction, but you look at the total, you just don't do it locally. Once you wear the brace on your knee to allow the cartilage to come, if you take it off and you still have this problem with the toe and with the ankle, you'll come back again. You said it doesn't work. You have to do this while you're doing the brace, and you're putting the pad to grow the cartilage and the ligaments.
Wow, thank you very much. That explains a lot.
Why, did you have or do they have a twisted ankle or a pain in the sciatic?
Yes, that's true too. Yes,
yeah. You have damaged, or they have damaged the toe, the middle toe.
Yeah, my parents, yes.
Yeah, they've done it somewhere in the past. It takes 5 to 10 years to show it. It's a very slow process. The chiropractors don't like me because I teach this and they lose a lot of customers. The other thing is the same with your tooth. We repeat this continuously because we get more and more people. Just try with your children, even with your dog, with your cat, to feed them a block of cheese, a small amount of cheese, 5-10 grams every night before they go to sleep. Before you go to bed, eating a cheese, make it a habit of life. You will never see a dentist. Hardly ever, unless accidentally you break something or something goes very loose. You even strengthen the roots of your teeth with the transfer of the energy. The cheese, especially the hard cheese, releases chemicals in the mouth that stops the deterioration of the chemical or the tooth, or decay of the tooth. Even if you have even a hole in your tooth, you will understand it'll just repair itself, because the enzymes to kill the new cells are not there. So as the tooth makes new cells, they repair, they fill up the hole. It's very, very important. Taking just by accident, taking cheese is important part of creating balance enzyme in your body that those materials who stop the growth of the cells to stop. We have a wrong image. I was explaining this to some scientists in the past few days. Maybe it's good to share with you too. We have a wrong, totally wrong image of our tooth and the operation of our tooth. Our tooth grows continuously. There is not that you lose it, it's used so it gets replaced. Continuously, the way you make your skin, you create layers of tooth. So when you stop the production of the things which can damage it, as it produces itself, it repairs itself. You find children have a hole in their tooth, and then you keep them just with the cheese every day, just before they go to bed, you'll find out it would not be there, the cavity will not be there, because the repair is constant. But there is something which is fundamentally never understood by the man. Tooth is a route to your life. It's the conversion point between the physicality and the man's life, physical life. We chew the matter. But in chewing, our teeth senses everything in its structure, what it needs to have to support itself when it becomes part of the digestion. Our teeth are the radars. They are the sensors between the physical life and our emotional life. This is what is important for us to realize. This is what is absolutely paramount. It's not just there for chewing. It's the receiver of information, and en route it transmits the emotion of what we eat into the physical body. This is important. And then you'll find out what we chew is important. How we chew is important. How we transfer the knowledge from the matter in chewing into the stomach is important. This is what we never understood. We just look at the tooth as part of something we use. It's the biggest receiver transmitter of information between the matter state and the gans state. You can transmit anything and everything with your tooth. You breathe, if you breathe, the people who breathe through their mouth have a different behavior than the people who breathe their nose, because now the information is transferred in a matter state by the tooth, not by the senses of the nose. You see different behavior. You understand different culture. The way we breathe through our mouth is the way we control the absorption of the matter in our lungs. You find out people who feed themselves by breathing is the understanding of how the matter state will change when it's absorbed. If you breathe through your mouth and change the rate of the breathing through your mouth, you decide what food, how energy is absorbed through your lungs that you don't need to feed yourself. I explained this with a trick with a Indian guru who came to us in the Sansana 2 years ago. If you breathe through your nose, you absorb and digest different way the energy from the air. When you breathe through your mouth and the air touches your teeth, you change the conformation and transformation of energy. The air from the mouth is considered as part of the food. The air through the nose is considered as part of the recycling of the energy in your emotion. And the way you eat food and the taste decides what enzymes is needed in your stomach to digest it. When you breathe and it touches your teeth, it touches your tongue, it behaves. Now the digestion system moves from the stomach into the lung. This has never been understood by the world of science. And that's why we can move you from eating food into breathing, and then from breathing into absorption of the energy without eating and drinking or without breathing. Your teeth in breathing behaves in respect to your lungs what is to be absorbed as food and energy from its environment. Teeth are one of the most important part of the life of a man. That's why when we get older, when we lose our teeth, we live different life. Because we lose and we rely totally on the stomach digestion, more or less, with the full information. Part of the information does not arrive because the antenna is lost. When you look at the shape of the tooth of a man or a child, you can tell about the psychology and behavior. The closeness of the teeth, the space between the teeth, the width, the wideness of the teeth explains a lot. When you look at the body of a man and you understand it the way I do, you just pretend not to because that's the way they like you to be, but you know everything about it. You look at the toe of a woman, an ankle of the woman, the toe of a man, an ankle of the man, the feet, the fingers, the teeth, the position of the eyes. You can tell everything about them. And this tooth is very important because if you, I'm nearly 60, I lost only one tooth in my life, the rest is all mine. But the only thing is, when I was little, my mother used to say, you're going to be very, very thick because you eat too much cheese. But unknowingly, I used to eat half a kilo of sugar every couple of days, but about half a kilo of cheese at night or during the day. And coincidentally, has saved me from losing any teeth. I have a lot of pain because of the sugar, but on the other hand, a lot of saving of life. At my age, I carry more or less full tooth. But the dentist won't tell you that because then there is nobody on the chair, there is no dentist. This is what I say, if the dentists were correct and teach it, people go to them when they need them, and this is what I need. I come with a sack of sugar. That's what I can pay for you to look after me. Or I have this, do you want me to clean your garden, or do you want me to sew a chair for you? Learn, these are little tips which is lost in the history of the man, but if you follow it, you understand the reason behind it. Now we gave you the food, we have to teach you, but you have to look after your physicality in a very simple way in the matter state too. Any other question? We're becoming nearly 12:36.
Hello, Mr. Cash.
I was going to say there's always more questions, Mr. Cash, but we should try to wrap things up fairly soon here. I think we've gone 3 hours and a half.
Yeah, please make sure those of you who are going to Ghana complete your process. Those of you who want to present papers in Rome, please send it to where you make the reservation. Say what you want to present paper. We'll contact you. Just go through reservation on the Rome reservation is already available. The Ghana, we are trying to process those applications which has arrived from outside Ghana for security reasons. And if you want to be a doctor, please fill in the forms because it has to be done. But Ghana, we close the application in next week or so. You have to complete it. And the most important thing is some 56 people, 50 odd people applied to be Mojans, to be part of the Mojan program. Please complete the process by next week or two regarding the payments and full submission, that we can advise you where to attend for the training.
Okay, there was something that was brought up earlier and many people have had questions about, which is regarding how can I contact somebody in my area that's part of a Keshe group that I can, discuss things with or get together and that kind of thing? And also on,
they are getting communities set up. That will announce. We'll bring people who are setting the community, Keshe Foundation communities, to explain this. There are Keshe Foundation teams set up in different languages. Just we try to add to it, and we'll see what can be done. There are literally Keshe Foundations in every country in the world.
And
You just got to look for them on the internet in your own language, and you'll find them. I know Keshe Foundation Turkey just been established recently.
Vince might have some information about that. Also regarding workshops, I understand there's going to be a new thing happening with getting people together so they can have workshops. And
yeah, the workshops needed a bit of setting up. Farhad is behind it with Vince and Kevin Blondale. They made the videos, and everything else is being announced very soon. I hope in next week or this week.
Okay.
And I was just told that in 2 weeks' time you'll have the first USA workshop in the United States. And just look in your language on the Keshe Foundation, you'll find them. I have to inform you, we just keep on telling you. If you go on the Keshe Foundation, it says Keshe Foundation scam.com. This is set up by the guy called Kuminar in Singapore, in Qumran. Yeah, he is part of what we saw the standing group, and we've been after this guy for 10 years to find him. He was brought in by Red Circle into operation of the Keshe Foundation. Initially as a child, pretending to be what we knew. He was a pedophile. We couldn't get him. We couldn't find his exact address. In arresting of the Sterling and opening up his Facebook, we saw because they are open with each other because they exchange children. It was revealed in that section his work office. So we informed the officers of the company he was working. They checked his computer, and he was more or less sacked, and we're waiting for his arrest for the same reasons the Allens and the others. And he set up the Keshe Foundation scam.com, and you see all of his fingerprint everywhere. So when you go to internet and you see a scam or whatever truth about the Keshe Foundation, all facts about, these are all the pedophiles paid to be there, and they lost their leader. The guy who was giving them free children now is in prison. So they set up facts about the Keshe and the truth about the Keshe and whatever. We've seen Alan going down. Now we see we can publish the email from Mr. Kumran that he got sacked by his office. They found all the children's pictures on his computers as office work because the company had a subsidiary in the United States. They didn't want to be involved or get involved in these kind of things. They were transferring sick children from the country into a state, and they saw how sick children were given to the abusers. And so when you see cashscam.com, look, Mr. Kumran, he is sacked. We can go to his company. We give you all the details of where he used to work. They found huge number of children pornographic on the office computer. He was using his time for other things with Mr. Allen, and the same with the guy who's put up the facts about the Keshe. These are all part of the same ring. Now you can ask Mr. Kumran if he's got a job. He hasn't got a job. He's waiting to be arrested. So when you go to your countries, look where people put. They even run and open the Keshe Foundation in Facebook in Farsi, trying to put things on, and the Iranian government handles them very, very nicely. So we don't have opposition. We have people who are paid to create opposition, or they lost their links to abusing children. Now we become a scam. The same thing with what you see. Be very aware. Not everyone on your links you find out are supporters that are paid to destroy all sorts of things. Find the correct people in your community and your organizations. As I said, I congratulate the Keshe Foundation. Turkey was established and they started working a few days ago. We were present. Norwegians started teaching yesterday, and we see others. Teach each other. We share freely. We share the knowledge freely. You share the knowledge the same way. And do not force. Give them a gift. Give them a gift of knowledge. Give them a gift of a patch with a pain. They will follow and teach the others. It's a disease, and the disease of it is love and being able to serve. When you have a person with a pain and you give them a pad, even though it doesn't matter what they deny in what the technology is, when they don't suffer, they see the truth. They see there is something, and they start becoming the next step, teaching the others. Keshe Foundation, if you don't have it, you can't find it, you set it up yourself, you find out the others join you, and you become part of the others who are there. You don't find it, set it up, and we support you. There's a huge structure, you need help. We're setting more and more structures. We had some 65 people at the working level of the Keshe Foundation offices and management. We found out more or less 30 of them now were people who were using the foundation and the trust of the foundation. So they have been released of their donating their time to the foundation, and we come down to the core of about 36 people, very highly efficient. The rest we rely on the support of the people who operate around the foundation for their work. If you are a manufacturer or submitted a manufacturing application, we are considering it. The problem is you want to manufacture, majority of you want to go for the energy production. Let us complete the solid state wireless transmission, and we let you to manufacture. It's no use you getting involved at this stage to make a maggrav unit and hybrid units, and in a few weeks time be what you call obsolete. These are ethos. We are there to work correctly and to do the job according to what needs to be done. Regarding the other aspects of development, we have set up, as I said, industrial application of the Keshe Foundation in Italy. If you are in the agriculture or whatever, please contact the foundation. There is more to be done than the maggrav system. There's more to be done than the energy system. Agriculture, decontamination, air pollution, space technology. We are looking in the next few weeks. If you're in a travel agent business, we are looking for those who can come to an agreement with the Keshe Foundation for a space travel. We opened the Keshe Foundation, what we call like travel space agency, for space agency to sell accommodation and tickets in the next few weeks. We are getting ready for it. We announced this some time ago. Now we are on the verge of the change done by the people that the governments can't hide it. So we are on target to achieve 2016-2018 target. Please, if you are in all sorts of milk production, if you are in food production, we have developed we are looking and developing a new technology for a lot of these sites, for decontamination in the hospitals. A lot of new technologies will be released. Keshe Foundation, as of last week, we have gone into production and the materials will be on the sale. The oil and bath soap and the oils for cancer, or for, as we said, the Himalayan salt. These are all with the permits, with the C certification. that you can buy the products, the Keshe Foundation, different arms of the foundation, different agreements. Now it's coming to fruition. In Italy, from next couple of weeks, you can buy plasma drinking water in the shops. We'll start the marketing, and we will literally export it out of Italy with the licensee certification approval. We have received it. It's just that the labeling has gone into commercialization. These are the things which is growing rapidly, and we look at the other partners to come in and develop all aspects of it. The development and the sale of what I call auxiliary facilities like toys and others will be coming up into the line in the next few months, and we'll release it. Those of you who want to teach Keshe Foundation as a workshop, hopefully by Monday, we've done all the work. You can go on the Keshe Foundation and order the coils and the packaging and the maggraph pieces for you to use for your teachings. We have received the pricing from Arizona. The pricing from Italy will be completed by tonight. You can buy all the parts if you want to make maggraph systems, everything according to the standard we produce. Each factory in each continent will supply that continent. We don't need to come to an American standard of shipping it from Europe. Arizona will supply the whole of US and South America and Canada. Italy will supply European continent. Ghana will supply Africa. We do the same in Asia with Chinese. So we are distributing, we're getting more and more structure in. You can order it and develop it. And the same, we are ready to what I call expand in a very rapid way. We had to build the foundation. We had to bring people we trust. I thank Kevin Blundell for hard work in the background. The same with Vince and Rick and Stanley. And I thank our security people, especially those who work in the background to make these things possible. But it's become a huge family, and we need to understand each other's strength and support their strength, and give a hand to cover the weaknesses that become a strength. The facility of the Keshe Foundation in the next few months will become, in a way, as a one family. You pay taxes only according to what you want to do. You can work in the factories of the Keshe Foundation, and we give you everything free the same way as you to contribute to it. You learn and you teach more. Come to the factories, learn how we make things, and go out and teach. The workshops are kind of the factory for us, because you learn and you teach, and you create a position in teaching. You satisfy your soul, and you can create the income for yourself that you can see can help you to growth, to bring peace into the family. We see a lot of people around the foundation who work full time now, and the balance of the work is not to come to steal, come to share, you'll receive more. Thank you very much. I hope we can share knowledge. I hope by next week or the week after we show you, we promised to show the, what we call the wireless generator on the 20th at the same time in Ghana at Vatican. We're organizing it to be shown at the house of the His Holiness the Pope, and we'll see, and what will come next we'll show at the same time in Los Angeles, Armenia. If you are workers and you understand our work, contact us. We do not mind simultaneously sharing it with all the nations. We have to do certain checks because we would like to be secure that we don't get interruption. The Keshe Foundation Russia, we ask you to contact the Keshe Foundation webmaster that we give you the blueprint for production of the generator wireless system that you presented in Moscow at the same time as us. We look at the Keshe Foundation India to contact. We would like to give you the blueprint to produce at the same as us. So we celebrate the release of the wireless generator together. We appoint the time and the date. We have agreed on the 20th. If this is for a function which is set up in for us for Vatican, we can always change it, bring it forward or backward. And it is important that with what we say, energy in exchange for peace, we force what we call governments to come to peace as the biggest problem of the energy we sort as Keshe Foundation for Humanity. This is the target. We try to keep limited according to, we know the people who are working in the background, and we will show the production of the energy unit simultaneously in Japan. Keshe Foundation Japan will show the MAGRAV system, what we call wireless energy production, at the same time as us, because the Japanese needed more, that they don't bring into commission more reactors back in just because they need energy. Thank you very much. We call it the day. It's nearly 1 o'clock. And we'll see each other next Thursday. You got to understand our private teaching with the doctors, agriculture, and the others still carries on. It's not just a Thursday morning. I try to attend some of the private teaching classes as we get time, but in the past 24 hours, I've taught nearly 15 hours of what you call it, teaching. So the teaching doesn't stop as we are not in the front line. There is a lot happening in the background. Now we need to structure the depth of it that it stays solid. Teach each other, take pleasure in teaching each other, and share knowledge freely, because you'll be gifted more. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much. That was a good session, and lots of great information came out for people to dwell
I get
upon.
paid this time, please. You're reducing my wages every week.
Well, you can't get much lower than 0, so you get to break even every week.
Thanks very much. All the best.
And I don't ask more question.
Thank you.
What
Next
was
week.
I said I'm not gonna ask too many questions next time.
that?
Thank you,
great.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, and that's the end of the 138th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for September 22nd, 2016. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Okay.